Welcome to episode 2 of Culture Conversations. Again, I'm your host, Michael Ashawn III, and today I am here with Disney Channel star Jermaine Harris of Saturdays.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome in, sir. Welcome in. So, to start off, I just want to say congratulations on season 1. You know,
Thank you.
you guys got re up for season 2, and
Hey, Brian, let's get it.
the only thing I want to start off with this just so we get it out the way. The way that, you know, this is looking with the writer's strike. What are your
hmm
thoughts on that? Because I know this does impact you guys.
Shoot the strike. I mean, it is putting a lot of productions on pause, halting a lot of productions, which I mean, as it should.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have any productions without the writers writing
Right.
what to film. And by all means, I am also just in support, fully supporting the WGA, the DGA, SAG, behind what we're all fighting for. But it all just comes down to fairness. So
Mm-hmm.
like, at the end of the day, pay them,
Yeah.
pay them. They deserve it. They for sure deserve it. We couldn't have anybody. Nobody can have a job unless the writers create what they create.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's where it's at right now. And mind you, it does push stuff back for a lot of productions, like as far as like just filming goes, and
Mm-hmm.
when certain things are going to be released. But at the end of the day, I'm not worried. My cast, they're not worried either. We're great.
Mm-hmm.
Disney's great. They're trying to do the best they can do as far as just accommodating for supporting the WGA. So
Yeah.
I'm with.
Well, support your writers, support your creators, because without
Yep.
your creators, you will not have any content at all. Like,
You know
all
what
the
I'm
stuff we enjoy on a
saying?
daily basis, without writers, it don't exist. So,
Say that. Say it
you know,
again.
because
Without
like,
writers, it don't exist.
you
That's
know,
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
yeah. So I do want to start off with from the very beginning. Now we're gonna get into the show, but the very beginning. What was your initial reaction, and what was the process like in order to get to where you're at with Disney? Like, what was that like?
Well, okay, very beginning. Um, as far as just getting with Disney, so it might sound cliche, but like it all starts with just getting one. Like you get that's the same thing like with just booking in general. Like all
Mm-hmm.
it takes is one thing, one time. And like when it came to that, I had that year, so that was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I had booked a role on another Disney show called Bunked.
Right.
So I had filmed that, and while I was filming that, I got the audition for Saturdays, and I knew about the show like a month prior because Tim told me about it, and I was like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds dope. And then when I got the audition, I was like, yo, this is the show you were telling me about. So after I did that show, in my mind, I'm thinking, I mean, this is all speculation because again, I can't confirm or deny this.
Right.
Obviously, I think I booked it because I did a good job, but like they knew me because of my performance on Bunked.
Right.
Because when I booked it, they were like, "Yo, we loved you in Bunked." And mind you, the episode hadn't even come out yet, so I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
y'all
so
already seen
okay.
it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Like y'all already seen what I did. Cool." So in my head, I'm thinking, I still think that did play a part in them trusting me and giving me the job, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, the process alone, obviously, no job or no audition is going to be easy as far as the process goes, but
Right. Right.
it did take a little time. I had callback after callback and, waiting, the waiting game, obviously, of hearing back of, okay, like, it's between me and whoever else is up for this. Like, but at the end of the day, I was pretty confident in my performance. I was like, yo, I know this guy. I know what I can do with this character.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it. But it was fun. It was a very fun process. And, you get the audition from your agent or your team. You submit the audition, they send it off,
Mm-hmm.
and you basically wait to see if you get a callback. And back in the day, before COVID and everything, we would go in person,
Right.
do the audition. They would contact our peoples. Then we could go back in for another audition for the callback.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything's through, Zoom and self tape, so we're just adapting to that. But long story short, it was a fun process. But for people who don't have who have an agent, you get the audition from your team, you do the audition, and you send it in because that's how you get the auditions.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad the process worked out. Like, do you think, because you said before COVID you go in and then now it's
Mhm.
recorded at the house, which process is easier or like more, your type of style? Like, what do you think is better?
I mean, I adapt to whatever. Like, I obviously I had no problem self taping, but from doing it in the past to how like when we used to go in, I loved it. I
Mm-hmm.
loved the feeling of the grind of going to the auditions. You could have 3 auditions in one day, so it's like, dang,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go to here, then here, and here, and sometimes you could be on a time crunch. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them could be stacked on top of each other. And especially when I was out here, when I first came out here, I didn't have a car, so like I was
Mm-hmm.
busting it everywhere, Ubering, and I loved that part of it, the feel of the grind of like, okay, I gotta figure out, okay, I'm gonna take the bus to this audition. This one's like maybe like a 10-minute drive from this one to this one. So I'm gonna go from this bus to this one. I'm gonna knock it out, get to this audition after, and then go to work after.
Right, right.
But I miss the feeling of actually performing in front of somebody.
Like that
Getting
rush.
live
Yeah,
feedback.
yeah.
You know, like it's detrimental. To that stuff, and I really do miss it. And if honestly, if I could go back, I would do the in person. I would rather
Mm-hmm.
do in person than self tape, but it is more convenient to do self tape because I can just do it in the comfort of my home.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I feel like it, in a way, it can get a lot of actors. I don't know. I don't want to say lazy, but for lack of better words, lazy when it comes to auditioning because when you're doing it, when you're auditioning in person, you really can only do it that one time. Like
Yeah.
it's like theater. Like if you mess up, okay, but you can still bounce back, and that also gives you like a rush of adrenaline to make sure that you also are on your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it comes to self taping at home, I have the ability to retape it. I have the ability to, oh dang, I don't like how I did that line. Let me do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
have that ability to make it however I want to make
Like
it.
as
You
perfect
know,
as you want it before you send off. Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And then also the thing that kind of sucks with self taping is that like again that live feedback I don't get that when I have a self tape. Like when I'm auditioning in person, I can I can get feedback from the casting department and be like, yo, like they might like how I did, and they can be like, yo, let's try it this way too. Let's
Mm-hmm.
throw out this suggestion. They might have an idea that I never thought of. I'm like, oh dang, okay, let's do that. I'm down to do that.
Yeah,
Like
like they want to hear you do it this way, so then you just go ahead and knock that out that way. Okay, yeah, yeah,
exactly. And you really don't get to that process as far as like hearing their point of view of it until you get a call back.
yeah. And if you even make it that
Nowadays,
far, yeah.
exactly. So it's like, in a way, it's kind of shortening your chances because they you could do something in the callback that they might I mean in the audition that they might like on self tape, but you also could I feel like you can get a better chance of getting direct feedback in person and then changing or adapting to that in that moment
Mm-hmm.
because they're right there in front of you. But
Yeah,
now you're kind of skipping that part and it's like, okay, well let's see if we want to get you in for a callback first and then maybe we can work with you on the
mm-hmm.
phone, you know, like through Zoom. And it's like, okay, like and even then the Zoom is like
Yeah,
I'd rather y'all be in person because then you can feel my energy. You can feel me
mm-hmm.
as a person and as an actor,
Yeah.
But you don't see.
It is what it is. I mean, maybe one
Yeah.
day we get back to that because I do know that they lifted COVID as a
Who knows?
pandemic like recently, so
Yeah.
maybe it does get back to that soon. Well, once
I
the
don't
writers
know.
get paid, anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. I was hopeful about it, but at this point, I don't think they will because
Mm-hmm.
not only did the performers get used to it, the studios got used to it. I feel like it became more convenient for them to be like, oh, let's just have them do
Send
it at
off a
home.
bunch of videos and just go through
You
them.
know,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
sift through it at home. We don't
Everyone
need
got
to.
got I guess lazier, like Yeah,
In a way, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, as far as auditions and things like that, because you said you understood the character, what
Mm.
part of London was Disney, and what part of London was Jermaine? Like who did what as far as that character that we
Okay.
see on the screen? Because I know, from me knowing you in real life, I watch him like that's Jermaine. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I don't know how
yeah,
much Disney wrote. So
yeah. I mean, oh shoot. To be honest, I can't even say Disney because the writers did so good at making this character feel real as possible.
right,
Like, there's certain things in there. Like, for example, right in the episode where London's dad's trying to teach him and Derek how to barbecue,
right, yeah,
right? And we talking about this moment where like he's trying to teach us how to work the brisket and stuff.
mm-hmm.
And they had that line where he like, my mom's like, and don't forget the Dalmatian mix. And I'm like, Dalmatian? What, we cooking dogs? Like that was written. I didn't come up with that.
Oh, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, my
You know,
thing
like,
that show is the show was so authentic to being black, you know, and like it was the
yeah,
first full black cast in, you know, actually Disney history, right? That's the first full
yeah,
black cast.
40 years, yeah,
Because
fully
we
black.
had That's So Raven, but that wasn't a fully black cast. We've had a lot of shows that we've seen that were fully black, but they weren't on Disney. So this is like the Moesha type of thing, but
Yeah.
for Disney, you know, and I really, really enjoy that. Yeah, the barbecue episode where that moment where you guys were you were about to snatch something off the kitchen, and he was like,
Oh
then black
yeah,
people look at that like they go do something. You might want to run now. You know, like that's a
yeah.
black family
That was
dynamic.
written.
Yeah,
You know what
that
I'm
was
saying?
written too,
Like,
because I'm thinking how much of
yeah.
this is improv. You know,
Yeah,
so
and there are moments where like it's improv. Like for example, for the same episode where
mm-hmm.
we cooking a brisket, like when we playing with the brisket, me and Tim, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
part was improv.
Okay.
You know, like that was me.
Okay.
But there's so many moments of like you said, like where it's just like, yeah, we would do that. Like
We would, yeah.
bruh, the
'Cause we grew
episode
up
where-
together. We know how it go.
You know what I'm saying? Like the episode where they talking about the Jacksons,
Yes,
and then like,
yes.
hey, the Jacksons. You talking about Michael Jackson? That's Michael Jackson. Like that wasn't improv.
I mean,
like,
even the first episode when they brought up Beyonce, it was just like
Yeah.
Beyonce, and everybody lost their mind.
Yeah.
Like that's the real life reaction
That's-
to that artist, you know. So
that was written.
yeah.
Like, you know, so I'm like, dang, like they had a lot in there where it you know, it borderlines where it's like, dang, it's kind of hard to see which one's like.
Which is a good thing, you know.
You know,
It's
yeah,
really a
you
good
know,
thing.
It's really good because then it shows like, okay, this feel real. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we would do something like that. We would say something like this. You know.
And as far as like that being so authentic, like just all the cast members, not even just you and Tim, because I know me, you, Tim, we all cool, but how did you establish that connection with all the cast members? Because it's like we didn't grow up with these other people. We didn't meet these other people until you started recording and doing these shows. So what was that like? You know, with Danielle, Peyton, you know, all the girls. How was that?
Honestly, with everybody, I mean, aside from Tim, because I knew Tim prior,
Yeah.
but like,
Even with Omar. Yeah.
yeah, like I feel like it just authentically, automatically clicks. Like from first day, bro. Like even from first time talking with Danielle, like in our callback, we had a chemistry, and for people who don't know, that's when you're so far into the you're so far into the callback process, right? They have you read with the other person that they either already cast to play whatever character you're reading with, or they're considering them, and they're seeing how you guys' chemistry is. Whether you know you guys mesh well, you guys can bounce off of each other good, and we had a chemistry where it's Paris and London. And the first thing I say, I'm like, dang, you look like my sister for real. Like
she does. That's the crazy part.
Wait, look at my little sister, bro.
Yeah.
What the heck? This is crazy. And mind you, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, aesthetically, they're gonna look okay. Is it gonna be believable that guys are siblings? Like, you know, like how believable is this? But off rip, me and her, I was like, yeah, you're just. Like
It's funny. She does remind me of Alyssa a little bit. Like just the
Yeah.
on screen like interactions. Like I've seen you and
Yeah.
Alyssa do that. So it's like
exactly. Yeah.
it was perfect. It was perfect.
It was second nature. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, easy. Even then, and also meeting Golden and Omar, like working with them, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm knowing y'all forever, man. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like this is probably the first time. Like, usually when you're doing your homework on the cast, like if you've never worked with them before, obviously you're gonna see their films and everything, and just hope that they're decent human beings. But like,
Right.
you obviously try to spend time with them to feel like you got to build a connection, like a real connection. It's like, okay, like let me kick with you for a little bit. Let's go over here. Let's do this. I never really felt like I had to do that. Everything felt natural when it came to just us wanting to hang out.
Yeah.
And when we did hang out, like we actually just had genuine fun time. Like what that was on set, off set, like it was really like an easy process as far as clicking with the cast. Like it didn't feel like it was it didn't feel like homework or an actual job when it came to
Yeah, it wasn't like we have to go hang out for this reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, like it felt as natural as possible.
Okay, so out of all the cast members, I know this was one of those. This is a funny question. Out of all the cast members you've worked with, on this show specifically, who's your favorite person to be on set with? Like, who's the funniest person? Who's like,
Dang.
when you get to set, it's like I hope that they hear right now, so we can mess around, make jokes, do whatever. Like,
That's hard. Obviously, I feel like the natural answer is gonna be Tim.
yeah.
We'll be on set together the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, that's hard, man. I don't know. It's either between Tim, for sure, Omar. Like
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, I'm gonna always have just a hilarious time with Danielle Payton too. It's really hard. Honestly, all of them. Like,
Yeah.
but probably Tim, because like me and Tim will
Yeah,
always, stuff.
Tim is a clown. I love Tim, and
You know,
when
like
we're talking like everybody know who Tim is, but Tim Johnson Jr. is a great person,
yeah,
hilarious man. Like,
that's my brother,
make
man.
sure y'all mess with him too. He does music. He's an amazing artist. All of that. So yeah. My next question, I wanted to go into just the importance of the show because, like we said, it's the first all black cast in like 40 years for
Hmm.
Disney. And what did it feel like when you finally got to see that dream come to life? Like when it premiered? Because I know the season finale was a big thing too. We're gonna get to that,
Hmm.
but for the premiere, what did it feel like to see that dream come to life? Because I know this is your first big show. You've been in movies and
Yeah,
little stuff, but this is your show. So what was that like?
man. When it came to premiere day, man, I was on 10 that whole day because I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So we had it at the Disney lot, right? And the theme was like a block party, which was just dope. I was like, yeah,
Right.
we would do something like this, you know. And like, it was hitting me like it. You know me, like I react to stuff kind of late when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
just my own personal accomplishments. Like it doesn't phase me in the moment
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm in the moment. I'm like, all right, cool, this is dope. I'm just trying to handle this as best as possible.
Right.
Try to give people my attention, split my attention off as best as I can. But watching it, and it hit different too because it was on a big screen. Like we
Yeah.
were in the theater, so like that stuff was crazy. Like hearing the genuine laughs and reactions was so like fulfilling. It's like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
like it brings me back to just when I first started acting in general, like acting at in elementary at Highlands Elementary, bro. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
Detroit,
Yeah.
California, and like feeling that experience of just hearing one the crowd's reactions to the parts where I want them to laugh at, when I
Mm-hmm.
want them to be like, oh snap, like when you get a reaction of like of what you want from the audience, it's the best feeling in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it came to premiere day, having my mom's there, my people's there, like
Yeah.
man, like it was my family, like my girl, like it was dope, man. So like it meant a lot having Norman there. You know, he's a
Mm-hmm.
showrunner, the creator of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Marseille and her people's there, like it was dope. And sharing that experience with them, I was like, man, this is crazy. Because mind you, when you go to premieres, like I wasn't my first premiere. Like like you kind of get numb to it. Like it's part of the job. Like okay, I'm gonna go to this premiere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to the press. I'm gonna go watch it. We're gonna leave. We're gonna probably go to the after party. You know,
But when it's your
this, that, and the
premiere, it's
third.
probably a whole new.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when it's yours, it's a little different. You know, because everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants photos.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have a good time. But in the midst of that, well, I'm also conscious, like okay, like I know what I have to do as far as catering to people and taking pictures and answering questions. I also want to live in a moment of like watching and be like, bro, like this is my show. Like I'm in this
Yeah.
show, bro. Like
Yeah.
I made a character. Like I helped create this character and make it come to life. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is crazy. Like knowing that people are gonna watch this, not even just kids. Like people are gonna watch this, and this is gonna be a part of their growing up process, their
Yeah.
day to day. Where it's like, yeah, man, I love watching Saturdays, man. I put it on, watch with my kids, like, or like I
Mm-hmm.
watch with my little sister, my son, my cousin, my best friend, like my girl, I'm like
Yeah.
it's different, and it for sure hit different when I saw that Wand ID. I'm like, dang, like it'll be randomly all the time. Like, I'm on Disney. Like, what in
Yeah.
the world?
Bro, like I'll
Like,
turn on
really?
Disney Plus and I'm like, that's my cousin. Like that's
Right.
crazy. Like,
I'm like,
yeah.
dang, I'm really on Disney.
The way
Like,
people
I could be
look at That's
scrolling.
So Raven, they look at your show now because that's like we grew up.
Well,
We always
that's
talk about, oh yeah,
crazy.
That's So Raven was great. Remember the episode when blah blah blah. Like
Mm,
when these kids get to our age, that's what they're gonna be saying about your show, and it's like you're immortalized forever with this, and that's always such a big accomplishment. And I want to say again,
yeah.
congratulations because I know I congratulated you when it happened, but I want to say again, congratulations. And Pittsburgh is proud of you. Everybody is proud. Black people are proud of you. We love the show. Like the show was amazing. You did great. Now that was the
Yeah,
premiere.
man.
What was it like for the finale? Because we got to see the episode. We know what happens. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But
Right.
what was it like to see the finale and the reactions to that? Was it the same type of deal, or was it a different feeling? Knowing that there's going to be a next season, like how does that feel? Like what's that like?
Well, this was it for me, right? So I had seen all the episodes up until like maybe 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I had got them. I seen them early, so I was like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already know what's gonna happen.
Right.
But I told myself, I was like, okay, when it comes to the finale, on the last maybe 3 or 4 episodes, I wanna wait. I want to be shocked like everybody else.
Yeah, because you don't know what
Like,
they edit in and edit out. Yeah.
Yeah, like and I know how it's supposed to end. So I'm like, okay, like I want that wow factor for myself. Like, okay, let me see how this is gonna go. And mind you, I already had high expectations for it because it's great.
Right.
But watching the finale, man, I don't know if it's just me. I talked to my mom about it, and I was like, yo, like this feels crazy. I talked to Riss about it too, and I was like, man, this felt like a movie. Like the last 2 episodes,
yeah,
felt like a movie. I'm like, yo, this is wild. How they set it up, man, for like, for the next or continuing the story. Like it's so good. People who haven't watched it yet, man,
please do
binge it. It's on Disney Plus. It's worth it. My peoples have watched it so many times. I honestly try to stop myself from rewatching it like more than.
It feels like one of those old Disney Channel original movie type of vibes. That's the vibe I got from it when it went from the second to last like that.
Yeah.
Like I really love the transitions and how it's like you're engaged and you're not gonna not watch the next one. Like if you watch that second to last episode one night, you gotta finish it. You can't be like I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. You have to watch the next one. So
yeah, man, the incline also was wild for the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dang,
it got it so intense so quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, this stuff heating up fast.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the finale was cool. Like it was honestly so cool. My mom, she cried.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Riz had to rewatch it twice. He was like, man, that was wild. I'm like, I know, right? Like, that was the finale, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's the end. That was our first season 1 done. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's still shocking to me.
What was that experience like with filming? Because I know you weren't in California for this, because it's in Chicago.
Mm.
So in Chicago, what was that city like? Because you got to live there for however long you guys filmed, and experience the city, experience the people there, and that culture. So what was Chicago like?
Chicago was fun. That stuff was fun. The food there, honestly, some of the best food I've ever had in my entire life. Eating in Chicago, I feel like Chicago changed me when it came to food. Like,
so that deep dish pizza is the truth out there?
It's the truth.
Is it like the one we eat out here? Or we really got to go out there.
No, like you gotta go out there. Like it's, bro, 100,000% the truth, bro. Like it's so good, bro. They got great pizza, great pasta, great Indian food out there. Their Asian food real good out there. Like their own personal food, like how they make hot dogs is interesting out there.
What do they do? I don't know about that.
Bro, it's weird. They got like, I think it's a tomato on there. They got like you got to see it. Like it's weird.
So like how New York has their hot dogs and it's a very specific thing. Chicago got that same.
It's a very specific way in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay.
A very specific way in Chicago. But it's good. Oh, I also had this spot. What was this spot called? Bro? It was right by. It was one close to our crib. Tim and I that we would go to. Right. I mean, I tell you. Bro, that food there was so good, bro. Their burgers, bro. Oh my God, it was so good, bro. The burgers, the shakes, they had different food at this spot. I thought it was just a burger joint. I'm like, what in the world? But when I remember it, I'm gonna tell you. But bro, it's so good. But like filming there was really fun. It was always something to do, also, which is why I feel like it was different than when I don't know, when I came to LA. I was never in the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna explore. I want to go to all the attractions.
Yeah, we've been to LA. Yeah, it's just...
And even when I first came, like, I was so focused on just making it and, like, getting an agent and working, like, I never really cared about exploring for, like, in LA. Like, the things people think about going to LA when they're like, oh, let's go to Hollywood, so let's do this. I'm like, I mean, okay, like...
Yeah, it's like, I guess.
Really, like,
yeah.
But when I went to Chicago, I feel like I finally had the perfect work/exploration balance of, like, ooh, like, I want to see what this is over here. I want to go to the Bean. I want to go to the Pier. I want to go to this. I want to go to this music festival. I want to go to this. I want to go, like, it was so much to do. They had museums and zoo. Like, I went to the zoo and stuff over there. Tim and I would do stuff all the time. Like, we would go to something every week, it felt like. And if not us, like, with our castmates or, like, the people we met on set, like, with the skaters. But filming there was really cool. The only thing that threw me off being in Chicago that they really don't tell you about, like, that weather. When you hear weather in Chicago, the first thing you think of is what?
Wind. Just
Okay,
windy, yeah, windy city.
that's and snow. Like
Yeah,
you
like
think it's gonna be
it get
cold,
cold out there. Yeah,
but they don't tell you about the heat. They don't
it,
tell you how muggy it get. They don't tell you
like
about
in
the
the
freaking
summertime or
tornadoes. Bruh, summer and spring, like that weather out there is many. Like,
wow,
bruh, it's many. When I tell you it got muggy, I'm like, what in the world?
like you just feel
You know, like
just
sticky.
yeah.
I'm like, and it'll look like it's about to rain, but it's hot. I'm like, what is this?
Mm.
What? And to be honest, when I got out there, I forgot it was even called the Windy City because I was like, bro, where does wind come from?
Yeah,
It's wind.
like
It's
it'll
wind.
take you off the street wind.
Like I've seen it move people,
Mm.
shake cars, bro, like crazy windy.
Wow.
I'm like, dang, this stuff different. Like, and then when we found out about the tornadoes, me and Tim tripping, like, bro, we gotta evacuate, bro. We gotta find a bunker. We
Yeah,
see
I've
people
I've
walking
never
around like it's
seen
casual.
I've never seen tornadoes. So
Bruh, it's wild, bruh. Like they got tornadoes out there, which we didn't know. So like that's the only thing that it threw me off. I was like, dang, this weather kind of many. But other than that, Chicago, a fun city. I would recommend going. Bro, the library, it's 9 floors.
9 floor for the main city library. This is like a regular
Bro,
library.
it's 9. It's the biggest library I've ever been to in my life.
Wow.
Escalators in that joint, bro. Like it's huge. Yeah, yeah.
With it
It's
being
all
Chicago, you know, me and you are both lovers of shoes. You know what I mean? What is that like out there? Because I know we both, Michael Jordan, you know, the GOAT, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the shoe culture like in Chicago? Like, do people like really be rocking Jordans out there, like we would assume?
Oh yeah.
Or like, what is it
Yeah.
like? What's that like?
Oh yeah. You'll see Jordans everywhere
Mm-hmm.
and Yeezys everywhere.
Oh
Like,
yeah, because Kanye from
Jordans
Chicago
and
too.
Yeezys
Yeah.
is like maybe 3 or 4 out of 5 people you will see rocking.
Mm.
Either that or you'll see some Air Force Ones. They love Air Force Ones out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Like crisp Air Force Ones. But Jordans out there, it's like it hit different because you know they know it's like that's where it started. Like
Yeah. Without Chicago, there is no Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. So it's like, dang, like that stuff was different out there. The stores out there were dope. They had tons of sneaker stores,
like exclusive type stuff out there because of Chicago. Yeah.
Tons of sneaker stores. The fashion out there was really dope too. Like if you're on the north side, like they have, I don't know, there's a lot of boutique shops and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. The fashion out there is dope, but the sneakers, bro, I was in heaven.
I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing.
It was so good, bro.
Since the show, like speaking of shoes and stuff like that, the show is a very black show, and it's like if you watch it, like we watch Fresh Prince, you see the shoes, you see the outfits and things like that. Was that you guys, or was that the writing, as far as like what we put on, shoe choices and things like that? And then also, what was the skating like? Because I know you knew how to skate a little bit, but like you guys were skating on this show.
Yeah.
So what was that process like, and how difficult was it? What was your challenges with filming this?
Well, okay, so for the clothes, right? So like they never really had like any heavy descriptions as far as like what we were wearing in the scripts.
Okay.
Right. So the fashion, I give props to the fashion, like the costumes department. They went move, bro. Like, and they based this off of all of our own personal styles of like, yo, like, what do we think London will be wearing? What do we think D-Rock will be wearing? Or Paris, or like how they felt we were as characters. They based it off of that, and then they also even asked us like what we liked. Like, yo, like, you think you would really rock this? Does this seem like realistic? And I respected that so much. I'm like, man, like, finally, like, cause you know how it is. Like when people think Disney, they be clowning. They be like, man, what they got there on? What they got on? They got this polka dot shirt. These
they just
shirts.
got
like,
a bunch of Forever 21 stuff on. Yeah.
You know, like they used to be clowning, but when it came to the wardrobe with our show, bro, that stuff felt so good, bro, because it felt like we were actually being heard. Like, oh, cool, like I got to rock some 5s, or I got to rock some Doc Martens on with this, you know, one of my '90s stuff, or you know, some simple chucks if I wanted to, you know, like they kept it to where it wasn't doing too much, but it's one of those where like if you do pause, you'd be like, oh, they got a lot.
Yeah. If you know certain things about fashion, you're gonna see like, oh, he do got those, or oh, they got this in the show. Yeah.
Like they did us right when it came to the fashion and the costumes. I feel like honestly, I really can't find a costume I wore in the entire season I didn't like. I'm like, yeah, like, I had that on. You know what I mean? I was like, I ain't gonna lie, London put that on. But yeah, shouts out to the costumes department. They for sure got us right. And when it came to the skating, like you said, like I knew how to skate before, but we had to go through what they call on set like skate camp. So our skate boot camp, and I was training. You remember I was training at home for like a month.
Yeah.
At Paradise Skate because I asked Disney if I could train in the Bay versus LA, and they said yeah. So I wanted to do something back at home to where kind of add some history to it. We add a sense of like, dang, that happened here. So I did a month there, and then the rest of the skate training I did in Chicago with the rest of my cast, and learning that was super fun. Like being in the midst of like actual like real deal skaters, bro. Like the skaters in Chicago different, bro. Like they have what's called JB skating, so James Brown style skating, and like, bro, it's so black. I love it. Like it's crazy. Like, bro, when I tell you, like, it was such a full circle moment because I'm like, man, I know for a fact this is what Norman did for like the cast of Roll Bounce. Like, if people don't know, Norman Vance Jr., he's the one who made Roll Bounce. Yeah. And like he had them go through the same thing. Like same thing. I seen Sweetwater. Where they like I seen Sweetwater. Like it was crazy. I'm like, dang, bro, like this is what it was skating at, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, like this is that. Yeah.
Like this is that. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like I know for a fact this is what they went through. I used to watch the behind the scenes on Roll Bounce back in the day. People who know when you watch DVDs, you go to special features.
Yes.
And I would watch the deleted scenes or like the behind the scenes, and I would watch the skate camp, like skate training that he would have them go through. And I used to love that stuff growing up. So like knowing that I was going through the same thing made it so much better. It made me want to learn faster. It made me want to be more dedicated. And like it was fun. It was really fun because you got to see everybody's progress. Mind you, like there's a good majority of us on the cast knew how to skate, but the ones that didn't, it was even cooler seeing their progress of like when they get a trick down, like, oh snap, you finally got it, bro. Like it was dope, man. Like it was super cool, and I'm glad that it translated well on camera too, because
it was all authentic on camera. I feel like for the first episode it was hilarious since it looked like nobody knew what they was doing. They were struggling like for the music video thing in episode 1. I'm assuming everybody didn't seen episode 1, so I could talk about that one. But from that to the ending, it's like wow.
Yeah, it's huge difference. Huge difference. Like seeing those routines, man, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Bro. Because watching that live too.
I'm already knowing that was crazy live because this isn't CGI. Like y'all had to do that.
It was skate team. Yeah. Like every skater in there, those real, like real deal. Yeah.
Now, to finish it off, because I know you're a busy man, but I want to ask you, what message would you want everyone to get from your show, from you as a person, and from your character on Saturdays? Like, what's the message that you want to put out there?
The message I want to put out there. I think I just want to say, whatever goals, dreams, purpose you're going after, fully go after it, not caring what anybody else thinks, because this is your journey, it's your destiny, and your dream. God gave you a dream specifically to you, and if you feel like that is your calling, go after it. Don't have nobody stop you. Don't nobody tell you that it's too small, it's too big, because if it was any of those, then God wouldn't have gave it to you. He wouldn't have showed you. Even when it comes to our show, like a lot of people would think like, man, I would never thought that an all black show would. Yeah, it happened. It happened. First skating show ever. First all black cast ever. First show and we got a lot of different historical things that the show did. I'm like, dang, this is crazy. So that's one thing I think I want to say is, whatever you feel like your purpose is, you go into it full-heartedly and fearlessly, because at the end of the day, this is your journey, this is your race, and you only lose the race when you stop.
Yeah,
that's it. You only lose when you stop. Okay, because you have the power to stop your own journey or not. Can't nobody else stop that but you. So whatever it is you want, go after it wholeheartedly, because where we from, this stuff don't happen.
Yeah,
This stuff does
it
not
don't.
happen. There's nobody to look up to for it, and there's nobody to be like, oh, they already did it, because ain't nobody do it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now, like, with me, but like, ain't nobody
Yeah.
do it yet.
When we
So
grew up, it was we have NFL players, and that was where it
yeah,
ended. So
that
it
was
was
it.
like,
And you get musicians too, and that's
yeah,
really
yeah,
it.
musicians, and it's like, okay,
You know, got tons of sports and and musicians, but when it comes to this stuff, you don't have nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. So
Well,
whatever it is you want to do, as far as if that's in entertainment, in the tech world and real estate, and you want to be in the medical field, whatever it is, just know and believe in yourself. Be your number one believer. Be your number one supporter.
mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, then nobody else will be.
Well, I appreciate your time, sir. Shout out to Disney. Shout out to Marseille Martin. Shout out to everyone involved in the show. And thank you. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you so much. No problem, brother. You know how we do, family.
This is not going to be our last interview. I'll talk to you again soon.
Oh, yeah.